Some say the Super Bowl took place last Sunday, but listen, I'm here to tell you there's 1,200 runners fighting for their spot in the Super Bowl of ultra running this weekend, and it all takes place in Mayer, Arizona at the Black Canyon 100K, which is of course a golden ticket race into Western States 100 miler this summer. The top 2 men and the top 2 women automatically receive entry into this summer's race, while everyone else, as long as they finish within the 17-hour time limit, will receive a lottery ticket into the 2024 running of the race. Listen, everyone knows the Black Canyon 100K is a fast race. It's just something that everyone knows. But listen, do we know who's going to take home the top spots at this year's race? Well, I think I do. Let's dive into the predictions. Let's start things off on the women's side. 5th place, I've got to go into a Colorado Springs runner, and it's Hannah Allgood. My goodness, she's had some incredible races over the years, but this past calendar year alone was super special. She started off winning the LFG Gorge Waterfalls 100K in April. After that, she won the San Juan Solstice 50 miler, running 9 hours and 15 minutes at that race. Then she took a trip across the pond to run a race called CCC. She ended up finishing 14th place at that race, running a time of 13 hours and 24 minutes. To wrap up her calendar year in 2022, she ran and won the Sky Trail Marathon, running 3 hours and 33 minutes. Hannah, we're excited to see you out at this race, but we've got you finishing 5th place. 4th place, and the highest projected finisher east of the Mississippi on the women's side for this race, I've got it going to Columbus, Ohio runner, and that's Sarah Beal. Some people also know her as, and everyone should know her as, the newest course record holder of the oldest ultramarathon in the country, the JFK 50 miler. This past November, Sarah set the course record at that race, running a blistering time of 6 hours, 5 minutes, and 42 seconds. Sarah has 2 previous golden ticket attempts under her belt up to this point. Most recently, she finished 5th place at the Canyons 100K last spring. We're sending all of the best vibes to friend of the program, Sarah, this weekend. But on this prediction video, Sarah, we've got you finishing 4th place. 3rd place, and just missing out on one of those coveted golden tickets at this race, we've got it going to a runner north of the border in Alberta, Canada, and it's Elsa McDonald. Her most impressive result to date, in my opinion, was last summer at the Western States 100 mile endurance run, where she finished 2nd place, running a time of 17:46. Prior to that, she won the Whiskey Basin 91K, running a time of 8 hours and 54 minutes. She also has multiple wins at the Bandera 100K. She's won the Tarawera 100 mile run in New Zealand, as well as a 6th place finish at CCC back in 2019. Elsa, we've got you finishing 3rd place. In taking home the runner-up spot on the women's side and securing one of the 2 golden tickets to Western States this summer, we've got it going to Portland, Oregon runner, and it's Keely Henninger. My goodness, this is her first race back since her first big race back since her ankle injury at Western States last summer. And listen, I'm not betting against her. If she believes that she's fully ready to go for this race, then I fully believe that one of the best runners in the country is ready to go, and everyone should buy into that as well. Prior to Western States last year, she won the LFG Gorge Waterfalls 50K, running a time of 4 hours and 19 minutes at that race. She's a previous top 10 finisher at the Western States 100 as well. She's won a lot of big races. Maybe you've heard of a couple of these. Lake Sonoma 50, Chuckanut 50K, the White River 50 miler, and so many other awesome races. I feel like the world is pulling for Keely here to see her back at States this summer, and the Ridge Runners are definitely on that support in the bandwagon, the train to get her back there for this summer. That's why we've got her finishing 2nd place In taking home the win on the women's side, we've got it going to an incredible runner all the way from Boulder, Colorado, and it's Megan Morgan. And listen, I know there's a few people right now thinking this is a hot take, but listen, Megan is going to win this race. And here's why I think so. Let's just talk about her 2022 calendar in its entirety, because I think it's an important place to start when talking about her resume. To start the year, she finished 4th place at the Bandera 100K, just missing out on one of those coveted golden tickets. What happened after that? I love to hear, after a tough time, how did someone bounce back? Well, she bounced back with a behind the rocks 50K win in Moab down in Utah. No big deal. That race is always super competitive as well. Just a month after that 50K, she hopped in Canyon's 100K, where she finished 8th place at that race, running 11 hours and 4 minutes. But then the big one happened, and I think this race is a little underestimated in the ultra running scene right now. I do think this was one of the toughest races in the country, and that's the Never Summer 100K, where she won this race by over 80 minutes this past year. She's essentially only raced the 100K distance in the past year, and so she's specialized in it. She did the 50K. Who cares about that? I think she knows exactly what to expect for this distance. Megan Morgan, the Ridge Runners have you winning the Black Canyon 100K this year. Let's switch gears now and throw over to the men's side. 5th place. I've got it going to a runner who is my pick to finish the highest out of all of the runners east of the Mississippi, and he's from, guess what? Huntington, West Virginia. It's Dan Green. And I'm going to tell you a quick story about Dan Green and tell you, not only about the type of runner he is, but just the type of determination and perseverance he's kind of shown, in recent years through his ultra running career. So back in 2021, Dan Green finished 2nd place at the Rims River 100-mile run, running a very impressive race that year. A couple weeks later after the race, he said, guess what? 2022, I'm coming back, and I'm not coming back for 2nd place. I'm not coming back for 3rd place. I'm coming back for the win. So let's fast forward. Fast forward to the end of 2022. Dan Green not only takes home the win at Rims River 100-mile run there, but he also sets a new course record, and it was a really impressive course record at that. So congrats, Dan, on that. You bested your time of 18 minutes in that performance. But I think this could be a little history repeats itself lesson as well. For those that may know, for those that may not know, Dan also ran Black Canyon 100K last year, finishing 10th place, running a time of 8 hours and 48 minutes. Well, this is me asking the world, does anyone at all know what Dan said after last year's Black Canyon 100K? I personally don't have that intel, but let me tell you, Dan Green is a lock to finish top 5 at this year's Black Canyon 100K. 4th place, I've got it going to a local runner in Flagstaff, and it's Stephen Kirsch. He finished 16th place at CCC last year, running a time of 11 hours and 15 minutes. He also finished 4th place at the Chuckanut 50K, running a time of 3 hours and 37 minutes. He has 2 7th place finishes at the Western States 100-mile endurance run back in 2019 and 2021. Steven, I feel like you should almost be higher on this list, and you probably believe that you should be higher on this list, but at this race specifically, we've got you finishing 4th place. 3rd place, and just missing out on one of those golden tickets at this race, we've got it going to a runner from Ashland, Oregon, and it's David Laney. Last August, he finished 36th place at UTMB, running a time of 24 hours and 16 minutes. We've mentioned LFG Gorge Waterfalls 100K a few times in this video, but David ended up taking home the win last year in April at the 100K distance in that super competitive field. I actually don't have all day, all night, all day, all night. It'd take 48 hours, 60 hours. I mean, it's not like a Barkley time here that we have to kind of complete this prediction video, talk about the amount of races and top performances that this guy has done. But I'll walk you through a little exercise to kind of help you through this process. If you think and maybe brainstorm about some of your favorite races that you maybe want to do one day, or maybe you've done in the past, this dude probably has a top finish at most of those races. UTMB alone, and this could take 6 days in the dome, and that's a different race. David has not done that race, but that it could take as long as 6 days in the dome to talk about just his incredible performances at UTMB. He's got multiple top 5 finishes there. I'm pulling for this guy super hard at this race, but I think he comes up just a tad short. David Laney, we've got you finishing 3rd place. In taking home the runner-up spot on the men's side, securing one of those 2 golden tickets to Western States this summer, we've got it going to Salt Lake City runner Anthony Costales. My goodness, this guy is a top 3 ultra runner in the entire sport when he's at his best. I fully believe that. Other people in the community believe that. Here's why. 3 weeks ago, he won the Arches 50K, running a time of 3 hours and 41 minutes. A classic, how you doing? Keep it moving, he said. Last summer, he took his talents to Italy to run Lavaredo, where he finished 10th place, running a time of 13:11 for the 120K distance. He also won the Canyons 100K back in 2021, and he also has a 2nd place finish at Run Rabbit Run 100 miler, which took place later that fall. Anthony, welcome to the big dance. We've officially got you going to Western States 100 this summer. In taking home the win on the men's side, I've got it going to a runner. Well, I said on the women's result I was going north of the border. Well, for this win, I'm officially going across the pond, because we've got it going to Tom Evans. And if anyone at all thinks that this is a hot take, well, good googly moogly goodness, you've not seen what this guy has done over the course of his ultra running career. I'm talking world class speed. Most recently, back in August, he finished 3rd place at UTMB, running a time of 20 hours and 34 minutes. Prior to that race, he won 4 straight races. And I was just talking about the Super Bowl a couple minutes earlier in this prediction video. This isn't the 4 falls of Buffalo with taking 4 losses in a row at races. This guy's doing the opposite of winning all 4 of the races that he ran previous to that, including a win at Tarawera 100K as well in New Zealand. He also has a 3rd place finish at Western States back in 2019. Listen, I would tell Tom to book the flight to States, but he's actually already secured his spot. So guess what? David Laney, thank Tom later. Tom, we've got you winning Black Canyon 100K this year. Thanks for watching another Ridge Runners prediction video. As always, hit the like button, subscribe to us on YouTube if you haven't already, and in the comments section, we want to know 3 things. First off, who did you have winning this race? Number 2, who you think we left out of our top 5 predictions, and then of course your full top 5 predictions for this race. We're super curious to see who you guys think are going to do really well at this race. It's a highly competitive field. For everyone running the race this weekend, best of luck. We can't wait to follow along. We can't wait to hear about all the epic stories that come from this year's running of the Black Canyon 100K. We'll see everyone on the other side. Cheers.